In the late 1960s, America was boiling over. The political landscape was marked by protests, deep divisions, and a heavy, palpable sense of injustice. An entire generation, raised on post-war promises of prosperity, looked at the world around them and found a societal abyss instead. The issue ran deeper than political burnout. A collective weariness had set in, a spiritual malaise, born from a sense that conventional Western life had become empty and hollow. For a young woman named Joan, this national turbulence mirrored her own internal landscape. She represented the restless spirit of her era, feeling a deep unease that perfectly matched the chaos in the streets. This specific malaise required a solution that existed outside of political reform. It required abandoning the familiar Western paradigm entirely. Joan joined the Hippie Trail, a grueling dirt road pilgrimage stretching across thousands of miles from Western Europe through the Middle East and deep into South Asia. Thousands of young seekers made this trek for one specific reason. They were hunting for ancient wisdom and searching for alternative ways of being. This map of Eurasia shows the massive commitment the journey required. Every mile pushed travelers further from their old reality, creating a physical distance between the West and the mysticism of the East. Joan arrived at the gateway of the East in Istanbul. Here, the architectural and cultural landscape of her childhood gave way to a world that looked and felt completely different. The sheer physical difficulty of navigating these diverse cultures acted as a psychological mechanism. It forced travelers to shed their old ways of thinking, to prepare for the wisdom they hoped to find. Joan pushed further into the rugged, isolated mountains of Afghanistan, putting even more distance between herself and the familiarity of the West. Her journey reached a turning point in a small restaurant filled with the smell of exotic spices. There, she fell into conversation with a group of English travelers. They described a child they had met in India, a boy of extraordinary presence whom they reverently called the Master. This information provided Joan's search with a precise anchor. Her vague wandering vanished, replaced by a single objective: reaching India to find this enigmatic figure. Serendipity, in this context, acts as a navigational mechanism. This encounter forced Joan out of a passive search and into an active, targeted pursuit. After thousands of miles of travel and internal struggle, Joan arrived on a porch in Dehradun, India. She waited there with intense anticipation, her heart pounding. When the teacher emerged, he was a boy of only 12 years, yet he possessed an unmistakable aura of presence. He bypassed all pleasantries and issued a blunt challenge. "What do you want?" Joan gave a single heartfelt response: peace. Rather than offering immediate comfort, he instructed her to search all of India first. It was a test of her sincerity, requiring her to exhaust all external options before turning inward. Joan remained, and in November 1970, she witnessed the peace bomb speech in Delhi. There, Prem Rawat publicly declared his intention to establish peace throughout the world. This interaction established their lifelong dynamic. A genuine teacher doesn't offer easy answers. They present a stark reflection of a student's own deepest desires. In April 1971, Joan returned to the United States. She was carrying what she called the magic ingredient, the direct personal experience of inner peace. Joan focused her efforts on a single operational objective: importing this experience to the Western world as an advocate. Long-distance communication in 1971 was slow and expensive. Joan relied on a relentless campaign of international telegrams, bombarding Prem Rawat with pleas to come to America. This list of references shows the historical documentation behind this period. Primary sources like Divine Times magazine record the movement's early days. These records preserve specific details of the peace bomb speech and accounts of travelers on the hippie trail. Exporting this foreign paradigm required Joan to act as a relentless logistical bridge between two very different worlds. Joan's efforts succeeded in July 1971 when Prem Rawat arrived in Los Angeles to begin his mission in the West. The initial gatherings were charged with energy. Halls were packed to capacity, with people eager to hear the young guru and receive the experience of peace. Joan's work as an organizer and witness shaped the movement's trajectory. She was the one who translated a spiritual search into a functional Western mission. The message reached America because a single traveler decided to carry it back. Joan's persistent telegrams and logistical grit show how individual conviction can move a message across continents.